Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Jules Leyhe. In today's video, we're gonna learn all about open E triads. Now, you probably have a bunch of licks and maybe, have some spots that you love to play, your favorite things in open E tuning, but something that I get asked about quite a bit is where are the triads in open E? This is a really liberating thing to understand and be able to use. I wanna just focus on major triads right now. Just this triad thing alone is going to hopefully open up the fretboard for you quite a bit. Before I get into today's lesson though, I want to encourage everybody to check out my Masterclass courses and my Patreon page. I'm uploading new lessons onto my Patreon every week. That's a growing community with a lot of great people into slide guitar, blues guitar, all things music. And my Masterclasses include a Derek Trucks Masterclass. We're just about to put a beginner slide guitar masterclass course out. We have a Jimi Hendrix masterclass, a modern blues guitar masterclass. There's all sorts of great stuff out there. And every time somebody gets a course from me, it helps keep the lights on over here and everything that I'm doing. So just thank you for checking that out. And let's get back into today's lesson. Since we're talking about 3 notes at a time, I'm gonna break this into different string groups. And my favorite one might be strings 5, 4, and 3. So that's these down here. And I'm gonna stay in the key of E for right now, okay? So let me go up to the 12th fret. So right here at the 12th fret, we have our second inversion triad, okay? And let me explain really quickly. Since we have 3 possible notes, the root, 3rd, and 5th, we have 3 ways of organizing them. And that way would be either here at the 12th fret where we have the second inversion, which is also known as the 5th being on the bottom of our voicing, okay? The 5th in this case is the B natural. And it's so easy to play this one. It's just all 3 notes right at the 12th fret. So we go 5th, root, 3rd. So that's your first E major shape, right? Nothing to it, just put your, you could put your index finger at the 12th fret. You could put your slide up there. That's our first shape. Now, in order to find our next one, I'm gonna go down and I need to find, so up here at the 12th fret, we're repeating everything that happens down here at the 0 fret, right? So if we work our way backwards from the 12th fret, we're going to notice that the next inversion we come to is the first inversion, aka the 3rd being the root, or pardon me, the 3rd being at the bottom of our shape, okay? Now this one looks a little bit funny compared to standard tuning if we're thinking about our shapes in standard tuning. But check this out. Here's a B up here at the 12th fret. We need a G sharp as our lowest note here. So that next G sharp is going to be here at the 9th fret. And now this triad is spelled 3rd, 5th root, or G sharp B E. So it looks like this. Ring finger 9th fret of the 5th string, index finger 7th fret of the 4th string, and then middle finger 8th fret of the 3rd string. Okay? And also, it's very nice and musical to not just play these by themselves. But you heard me, I kind of went. Just a nice little way of kind of playing a little bit of music while, trying to get this new shape under my fingers, right? So that leaves us with just one more shape, which is down here. I like this one a lot. All of these are doable with the slide on your pinky, that's for sure. I'm trying to have, I'm not really playing much slide right this second, but I want to show you that you don't need, you can keep your slide on and still play all these shapes very comfortably. That part's really important. We're not taking our slide off to play some chords. We're keeping it on there, right? So this last shape is a really easy one, and this is the root position, or the root being the lowest note in our voicing. This is that triad, and it looks like this. Ring finger, 5th fret of the 5th string on the E. Middle finger, 4th fret, 4th string. 1st finger, 3rd fret, 3rd string. So here's our root position triad. First inversion, and then second inversion. But now, okay, so those are all E, right? And that's great. Those are our shapes. But now let's apply them a little bit. I have a couple of little tricks to show you just how useful and just how cool these are. You know, that what I just showed you was kind of the literal shapes in a textbook, essentially. But now let's apply them musically and see just how much mileage we can get out of these shapes, okay? So let's first start by paying a little tip of our cap to the good old Keith Richards, okay? Does this sound like Keith Richards or what? He does stuff like this all the time. All I'm doing is I'm hammering on from E to A major here. So now we're gonna add a second chord, right? A major. Now, this is an A shape right here. But I want to get more of my A shapes, okay? I don't want just this shape here. This is another A shape down here, right? And it takes a little bit of time to get used to seeing this, the 10th fret here. You know, since we're tuning this string up to B, this is our A root right here at the 10th fret. That can feel just kind of goofy at first. You know, we're used to the open A string being an A at the 12th fret, but here it's not. It's an A right here at the 10th fret. Now, if that's an A, we also have a B up 2 frets from there. So far, what I'm doing up here, I've got this. I've got E, A, B. Now check this out, going from B to A, this B to, B to E. See how much cool little, chord riffage there is available? I'm just kind of experimenting with this. I'd encourage you guys to do exactly what I'm doing here. Try connecting them. This B to E movement right here. Super duper cool. And all I'm doing is I'm basically playing a B, and then I bar with my ring finger to make it an E. Right? That's a really powerful movement. So far, let me just expand upon this just a little bit. See how much ease I have playing, a lot of chordal stuff now. My slide isn't being used, but it's on my finger in case any time I want to go like this. I could go. So I can do this like, yes, I'm definitely playing slide sort of thing, but I'm not just playing slide. I can also play around and kind of play normal guitar as well. I can't emphasize this part enough because, you know, while it's really great to go and playing all that great slide stuff that we love, it can be quite limiting if you pick up your open E-tuned guitar and that's all you feel like you can do. Hence this exercise and these, you know, these sort of eye-opening triad shapes that are available to us. And they're pretty darn comfortable. There's only three. It's only 3 notes, so there's only 3 different orders that you can play these in, right? Now, another thing that's very cool is, you know, simply barring a chord like this. It's really nice to be able to bar this with your index finger. I'd recommend doing your index because we use our other fingers to hammer on like this. Right? Now, if you do this sort of thing and you can go like this, check this out. I'm gonna go E, A, but I'm gonna do this. Then I'm gonna go A, B, E. You could go E, B, A. So in this last little example that I just played, I did a combination of just playing fretting notes and then combining a little bit of sliding around, like I want to encourage you guys to kind of just integrate the slide into your fretted playing and integrate fretted playing into your slide playing, right? There's kind of one big thing going on. Even though we've got this thing on our pinky or whichever finger you're using, we don't want to think about this too differently, okay? So this is a great way of just being able to play more chords and being able to play harmony, being able to get away from just playing licks all the time. And, you know, really getting comfortable going E in first inversion. That sort of thing. A in first inversion. There are so many riffs that have this sort of, you know, now that's strings 5, 4, and 3. So that's sort of the concept that I want you guys to work on. But let me show you some of the other shapes across the other string sets, okay? Now, I skipped 6, 5, and 4 because of this funny tuning. And let me just explain really quickly because we go from E to B from the 6th to 5th string. Right there with the 5th in the tuning, it's kind of hard to, you know, we have to really stretch just to play anything other, like, you know, you can actually hurt your hand. So the lowest that I tend to go is 5, 4, 3. That's just why I skipped 6, 5, 4, okay? But now let's go up one string. This would be 4, 3, 2. I'm gonna start on E again. But now to play an A, it's kind of the exact, it's this sort of similarly pleasant looking finger per fret sort of line that we get. So here's E, barring at the 12th fret. We're going to, so this is a root position E triad. We're going to now make this a second inversion A chord, which means E is now the 5th of A, and E is the lowest note. So here's that A inversion. It looks like this. See how much cool little hammer-on type of action there is here too? So this one's really nice, really comfortable. And if we're gonna play this in the key of E, it would be down here at the 7th fret, B, E, G sharp. Okay? And now the third one is a little bit of a pain. It's just visually kind of confusing. I think that's maybe the problem with this one. But this is a first inversion E chord. So this would be G sharp, B, and E. In all of these examples, I'm just trying to be a little playful with playing between E, A, and B. I think in the last string group, I snuck in a D really quick. I did something like, so I just snuck in one extra little chord, but I'm mainly trying to stick to just 3 chords, E, A, B, 1, 4, 5. See just how many little different combinations there are, and I'm not playing a specific song. I'm just trying to be musical and see how much mileage there is for me to check out, So that's strings 4, 3, and 2. Let's do the same exact thing on 3, 2, 1. Now here we get a first inversion E major triad. And let's play our next E major triad, which would be going down to the 7th fret, but we're not actually fretting the 7th fret with our index finger. Well, we're going to bar the top 3 here, but our root is the 8th fret of the G sharp string. So we have E, G sharp, B. And then again, here's our last one. This is a second inversion E major triad, B, E, G sharp. Okay, so those are the triad shapes. Now, as I said, we have other options. There's a minor shape, and we're not going to get into that right now. I'm going to keep that for a separate lesson. Just really wanted you guys to get these different shapes down, be able to sort of mess around with them. I always have this sort of like kid in a sandbox, like just kind of diving in and trying a bunch of this stuff out on your own, because you're guaranteed to just have little light bulbs go on from this sort of activity that you might not have had if you were just playing the chords and you just went, great, I have E here, I have E here, and I have E here. I want to see you going like this. So that's a little demonstration of how I would apply these. And the more music you can make with these, the more you're actually going to remember them, get out of just Lickville. It's great to not just have one place to play everything, but now the fretboard's pretty open up to, So anyway, that concludes our lesson for today on triads in open E tuning. There's more to come from this. As I said, I'll do a minor one. We can really get into playing some more sophisticated chord progressions once we add the minor voicing. but I wanted to just start with the major triads, as those are just a gateway to so much music that you guys already probably love, and who knows what you're going to come up with once you've learned these on your own. So thanks again for checking today's video out. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I'm putting lessons like this out all the time. And again, my masterclasses and my Patreon are a great way to support me and keep the lights on here and just support everything that I'm doing. So thanks so much, you guys. I'll see you in the next video.